father is a pastor, a Protestant pastor, so I've watched him help and minister and serve people my entire life. And as a kid growing up, I've watched that, and that was, my father, my biggest hero. I've watched what he did, and sometimes wondered how he did it, and why he did it so much. When at times it seemed like he got nothing in return.
Yeah.
And so moving forward to answer the question, my first sales job. Well, let me say this: my first sales job was at a Ford dealership, but I didn't go in as a salesperson. I actually went in as an IT administrator for the dealership brand, and so. But I would spend all my days at these different dealership chains working for the same owner. And so I got to know the sales managers. I got to know the sales people. I got to know the ins and outs of the dealership. And I remember specifically, being at this Ford dealership often. And I remember, pretty much because I would load their trainings, and so I would see all the trainings, so I would learn the vehicles, and then I would, start test driving some of the vehicles. And so there was a few times that everyone was busy at the dealership, and because I worked for the dealership, I was hired for the dealership, I would, it was my job at the dealership to see. So if someone came in on the sales floor, I asked them, hey, how can I help you? Even though I'm here to do IT or I'm here, focus on something else.
Hey, and just a sidebar, there is Tim carries an award-winning smile that people just can't say no to. So I will add that to this. Okay. That's fun.
And so I remember, helping someone, and this family came in, they wanted to look at a van. I went to the sales manager, was like, hey, this person's looking for a van. We found something outside. Can I get some keys? And he's like, oh, okay, yeah. He's like, appreciate your help. Everyone was busy. So I give them the keys. They take it for a drive. The family loves it. I get them with the sales rep. They end up buying the vehicle, but they came back to thank me for taking the time to walk them around the vehicle, show everything about the vehicle. And when they left, I was like, wow, that felt really good. Even though I made nothing from that sale. I was just like, that felt really good to help someone, and that the fact that they came back to thank me, just meant a lot. And so I spent a lot of time around that dealership, and slowly but surely I was like, you know what, I want to do car sales, because I also saw the paycheck that they were bringing in as well.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what, I want to get in the car sale to talk to the manager. They end up outsourcing the IT for the company, which happened to translate well into me moving into a different position. And I started in car sales. But I think it's in the way that I sell, it's being able to help somebody to do something for their business or give them something that they need. Anything that I've ever sold has been able to help a business or help a person individually. There's never been any gimmick sales for myself. But it's always been something that helps somebody. And so just going to bed at night, knowing that I did something that helped someone, and, that they were able, to do something, or, if it's a business with advertising to reach new people, I always like that feeling of helping, and the paychecks they're not too shabby. So.
Yeah, no, and that's awesome. And I love what you're saying. When you do the foundation and the passion and the preparedness that we talked about, and you're consistent in your activities and constant activities to make your business work, you're running your own business. And in order for that business to work and thrive, you have to be doing certain activities to make that. That is the calls, the follow-up, the emails, the voicemails. Prior to COVID, probably you stopped into places and things like that. But because of those activities, you get a phone call one day and somebody says, look, I've been meaning to do this a long time. I just want to run my ad. This is my, I've already got what I want the ad to say, everything. And while that is a reward, and it is amazing, and you high five yourself and you're all excited. When that order comes in, that's what it was to me, is that the sales activity was taken out of it, and they're just now ordering. And believe me, yes, I'm excited about it. I'm placing it. I'm putting the ad in. I'm all excited. But it wasn't the same feeling that I had from me winning and truly helping somebody from A to Z and what we could do, and let's put this whole package together. So I love what you're saying, is that you get it, and I joke about this, that it's a high. And, you get told no, and you get turned down. And the Wednesday morning, the guy said the board didn't come through with it, and all those things. And then people just, things that you had done previously start coming through, and all of those we're talking about advertising. So all those ads start coming through, and you have this amazing week. And that is a great body of work. It's work. It's not easy, or everybody would be doing it. That is one of the most, one of those sayings that's out there forever ingrained in our minds, but it's just so true. And that's what always made me feel special as a salesperson, and why I always wanted salespeople that I was training to feel special. You're running a business, and your time and your feelings and your passion. We're emotional people, and I don't care. There's all different kinds of salespeople out there. There's really bad ones. There are the ones that, do try and push people into certain situations that they might not be that comfortable with. And okay, here's my money. Go ahead, place the ad. Let's see what happens. There are those people out there, and there are those sales like that. But on the other hand, if you look at it as an artistry or creating something, and that it is a true body of work, and that it came from you picking up the phone one day, I mean, that is awesome. Like, that is awesome that you came from, hi, this is who I am, looking to speak to, Max. I understand he's the owner of the shop. That it came from that introductory phone call is why I am obsessed with the whole process, and that amazing things really do happen when you pick up the phone. And I love the energy that I hear from what happened to you, whether it was somebody walking in and you saying, hi, can I help you? What are you looking for? Who's going to be driving this vehicle? What are your plans? Is this to take the kids back and forth to all their sporting events, or is this date night car? Is this to get you back and forth to work? Really learning about someone so that you can sell a car, place a car
right
into the right person's hands. That's what sets a true professional apart from the others. And it's that asking those questions. I know you mentioned, your boys and how that drives you. You've got my 3 sons. You've got your 3. That was a show. All right.
I know.
All right. I know I'm showing my age here a little bit, but it was a very cute show. But you have, your 3 sons that motivate you. Besides money, besides your sons, we're working from home. What motivates you to get up, do the right thing, the integrity and everything right from your home? What keeps you motivated? Why you get up in the morning?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think outside of that, I believe it's just the passion that I have to do well. It's the competitive side of this, because for me, when you're in sales, you have to be a competitor as well. And I know there's many different types of sales personalities, and I always say that I'm not the pushy salesperson, and depending on who you talk to, they might get confused with being a pushover as a salesperson. But I think with that, like I am so competitive, but I'm able to bring a different energy to make the customer very, very comfortable in what they're getting. But again, what gets me out of bed is, that competitive drive, because again, not only, am I looking to help someone, not only am I looking to provide for my family, but that, we have a sales dashboard that we get to look at every day.
Yeah, I remember that.
So when you see people who are putting up really good numbers in the middle of a pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
That as well, to me, is fuel to my fire. There might be a salesperson out there that gets discouraged, when they see that. But to me, it's just like, I want to make sure that I'm at the top of this list and not at the bottom.
Yep.
And that, and I'm helping someone along the way. So, those are things I think that are getting me up now. It's just knowing that there's sales to be made right now. And wherever you're listening, I'll tell you this, and I told my sales team early on in the pandemic, I had looked through our numbers and everyone had made a sale between the months of March and June, which were some of the toughest times.
Sure.
And I told them, make sure you take time to pat yourself on the back, whether it was, a small sale or a big sale. You still did your job and got someone to spend money when the whole world is looking to see what,
right,
what changes might be happening. So wherever you are, you're listening to this and you're looking for some encouragement, be your own encouragement. You've made a sale during this pandemic. If you're coming back into the sales force from being off, people are buying.
Yeah.
And, you're able to put that on your resume that, I stuck through it. And to keep pushing, and that's what gets keeps me going as well.
We wanted to come up with a one-liner for the resume. I survived sales in the pandemic or something like that. Hey, look at me. But I love that you said that. And whoever you sold to between March and June, that I would think those business owners would be deserving of a phone call and just say, hey, I want to thank you in the toughest times. You believed in advertising and kept your name out there for whatever reason, whether it was to say we're still open, whether it's to say we're going to be open, whether it's to, whatever your message is, because the type of advertising that you do is extremely affordable. And that is one of the key things about what you guys do there, is that it is affordable. It still keeps that, I call it positive outbound activity. You'll never know unless you try it. If I don't pick up the phone, it's the whole Michael Jordan, how many 100% of the baskets he doesn't make are the ones he doesn't try for, and all that kind of kitchen kind of BS. But it's so true. If I don't pick up this phone, then I'm never going to make a sale. That's for sure. But if I continue my continue my activities of picking up the phone methodically, introducing myself, making each call count, because I always felt rewarded if I had more than, if I collected an email that was great, or confirmed an email, or made friends with, the administrative assistant or the receptionist or whomever, that was my goal. That was a good sales call to me, that I left a good note on someone's life that day. And that if I actually got to talk to a human, and then if I do get to the decision maker, then I'm going to ask that who, what, when, where, why, and how, so that I can make the most of his time and my time. And that might only be 30 seconds, but I might gain some positive intel that I can use either later down the road, or even if I sell that person on me, then they're going to buy from me. Because, you were in car sales, and I didn't go back to a dealership because I didn't like the guy I was dealing with. I mean, you talked about a Toyota Camry is sitting in my driveway, 2019. It's beautiful. I loved that guy. He was easy, comforting, kind, asked me questions, was excited about the product. He cared about how I was using this, how many miles you driving it, and the only way you're going to find out if you want to lease or buy is to find out how many miles you're putting on it. Where are you going? You using this for vacations? What are you doing? And that causes,